Hi, I'm Louis Cahill from Gink and Gasoline. I'm out at the park today doing a little casting. I thought we'd do something completely different. I'm going to do a completely impromptu, on-the-spot kind of product review of the new RIO Slick Cast coating. So I've got my rod lined up here. This is my Stickman P5, and I have this lined up with a 5-weight line. This is not the RIO line. I believe this is an airflow line. And just out this morning to take a few casts and see how I'm doing. Those of you who follow the site know that I've had a rough year. I've had 7 eye surgeries in the past year and have spent a lot of time, 6 months in bed, and not a lot of time to fish or even get out of the house. So my casting is about as bad right now as it has been in many years, and it's incumbent on me to get out and do some practice casting. So I wanted to start off with this line, which is just kind of a base line. I guess I've been fishing this line for trout for a while now, and I just wanted to cast the rod a few times with this line and get a feel for it. And it's a great line. It casts great, so no problems there. There are a couple of things about this new RIO line that supposedly you're going to notice right off the bat. The coating is supposedly slicker than any previous coating, at least on RIO fly lines. And it's also supposed to be tougher and more durable. It's not as likely to crack or to flake off. And we're not going to find out about that out here today at the park. But, you know, we'll see at least how it does. So I'm going to go ahead and spool this line up, and I'm just going to leave this on the reel, and I'm going to leave this reel on the rod for balance while I'm casting. And I'm going to take that new RIO line right out of the package, and we're just going to cast it as it comes. So I have the Technical Trout taper in a 5-weight, and not only is the casting new, the coating new to me, but this is also a line taper I've never cast before. So I'll try to give you my impressions of the taper and what I think of that, and as well as how I think the coatings perform in casting. And again, this is a completely blind test because I haven't even taken this line out of the box yet and felt it. So you're going to find out along with me how this thing feels. All right, there we go. I certainly had enough of that line out. All right, so here's the new RIO line, still on the spool. Looks like it's a 3-color line. Running line looks to be gray, and then the middle of the line is yellow and the tip blue. That's how it looks so far. There we go, just take the whole thing apart. There's liable to be a little bit of messiness as I resolve this because this is not the best way to take a line off. So there's your running line. All right, and I'm going to just keep my fingers through here and pull this off. And the other thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to put a leader on here, because if you've ever tried it, you know that a fly line doesn't cast very well with no leader. You need something to kind of control that tip from being overpowered. And one of the things that I've read about this line is that it's supposed to be designed specifically for turning over long leaders, and that's one of the reasons they call it a technical trout. So the leader that I brought out here is a pre-made tapered leader. It's 10-foot 5X, which is not an extremely long leader, but it's also a factory-made taper leader, so I know that it's going to be a little more challenging to turn over than the leaders I might tie myself, so we'll see how that does. Although I'll be honest with you, I may not be able to even see how it's turning over at this point. My vision is still a little sketchy, and that's a day-to-day battle. Another new thing about this line is that it has the RIO Connect core, and I'm a fan of the Connect core. I like that a lot. One of the things I like about it is that you can stretch it, and it has a very low memory. And you see that as you take it off the spool, it's kind of a disaster. But then once you give it a stretch, you can just feel it relax. and it just goes stick straight. So that's incumbent on you when you go out to fish. You have to stretch that line every time, but once you do, and it doesn't take but just a minute, it lies real nice and limp, doesn't tangle or cause you problems. So I'm going to go ahead and just stretch the whole line here, especially since I just have it laying on the ground around my feet. We don't need to get any extra tangles going through the guides. And it lays out really nice as I stretch it. It looks just like I would expect it to. I'm stretching from the head down to the running line. Almost there. There we go. All right, now the whole line is stretched. See if I can find the head. That's where the color comes in really handy. All right, I'm gonna pull out a leader and attach it to this. A little clunky doing all this on camera, but again, I wanted you guys to see as this thing comes out of the box exactly what I'm dealing with so that you know what to expect. So it's kind of an unboxing video, I guess, as well as a quick product test. This leader is an Umpqua leader, and it has a hot pink cider section to it, so hopefully that's going to help me see a little bit what's happening down there, because I don't have yarn or anything attached to the end of it. So there we go. And we're just going to attach that to the loop connection. You can hear the train in the background, I'm sure. We're right down by the train tracks and right down by the river. The bottom end of this park has a bunch of really nice trails down along the Chattahoochee. So pretty fortunate to live close enough that I can come down here and walk my dog on the river and have a great place to practice casting. All right, now I'm just gonna put the head of this line through the guides and we'll be ready to give it a cast. So this line apparently has a very long belly, and it has a long rear taper to help you control a lot of line in the air, which is good when you're fishing for technical fish. You may have to be making a little longer cast, and you still want to be able to make an accurate presentation and time that presentation with the rising of the fish. So we'll see how that performs. This rod, if you've never cast the Stickman, is kind of a medium action rod. They sort of bill it as their do-it-all rod, and I found that to be very true. I love this rod as a hopper rod, or just a general dry fly rod. Okay, right off I can tell you that yeah, I can feel it. This makes a difference. This line is very, very slick, very, very slick, very easy to shoot. The taper is really nice. Really controls the power through the line. You're really able to manage a lot of line in the air, which is nice. I mean, it's just pretty effortless, you know. Even there where I'm just, and there you go. That should tell you what you need to know about the slickness. The this into the reel tag stopped it going through the guides. So for just a pretty effortless cast with a 5-weight, that's not too bad. Let's try a couple of other things here. I want to see how this line roll casts. My anticipation is that a fairly long belly line should roll cast well, and it does. So that's nice. It turns over very nicely. Let's try a few accuracy things here. Pick myself a target and just do some pick up and lay down casts. Very nice. It absolutely turns over that leader just wonderfully, which is great, and a nice delicate presentation. You know, if I stop and hold that rod while the line straightens and then drop it down, the whole thing just comes down feather soft, which is really nice. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm eager to get this on the water and see how it does. it's a beautiful casting line. I mean, you just can't ask for a whole lot better than that. So great job, Rio, on the Slick Cast. We'll keep an eye on this. I know they have done some testing on the durability of this line and feel like it's going to outlast their previous lines. So the machine they have at the factory, I don't think is quite as good as distressing line as my boots and the drift boats. So we'll get out and give that a try and see how it holds up. I'll keep you posted and let you know what I think about it. But so far, my initial thoughts, this is the Technical Trout Elite with Slick Cast coating, and really nice casting line. I like it a lot. I'm eager to get it out on the water. Thanks for tuning in. I think this is, I hope this is helpful. If you're out looking for a new line, this would definitely be one to get out and give a try. I know that trout lines right now have the Slick Cast coating, and saltwater lines coming up soon, so I'm very eager to try some of that. Thanks for tuning in to Gink and Gasoline. Stay with us for more product reviews, tips, tricks, and how-to.